You're listening to Podketeers.
Welcome to episode 436 of Podketeers. This week we talk about creative people out in the world doing cool stuff. Disney Dreamlight Valley gets its first major update. Plus, Larry tells us about his experience buying and using the new MagicBand Plus. We'd love for you to join the conversation over on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Just search for Podketeers. But we would love it if you joined us over on Discord. Joining the community is super simple. Just head on over to podketeers.com/links and click on the Discord button to join our community. A very special thank you goes out to an awesome group of people known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. As part of the FGP Squad family, you get some additional perks like exclusive discount codes for Podketeers gear, additional content like the Podketeers After Show, and access to our happy hour calls, just to name a few. For more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to check out podketeers.com/FGP. And as always, a super special thank you goes out to the FGP Squad for their continued support. Teamboat Willie has joined the fight against women's cancers, and we are raising money as we participate in a Walk for Hope. We are trying to raise $1,000, and we are going to be auctioning off a few items on Instagram very soon. Make sure that you're following us for information on how you can help us reach our goal and do some good in the world in the process. Why? Because we want to change the world. Head on over to podketeers.com/links and click on our Walk for Hope link. There you will be able to make a donation, or you can join us as a member of our team. We would love it if you help us spread the word as well. If you're unable to make a donation, if you know somebody that can give $1,000, we made it. Well, not yet, but we're hoping to make it. So again, keep an eye out for those auctions that are going to be coming up. More info on those and some sneak peeks at the items that we're going to be auctioning off will be coming very soon. So that's it. It's time to get this episode rolling. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome. We hope that you enjoy the podcast and that you come back for more. And of course, if you've been hanging with us for a while now, welcome back, friends. Here is episode 436 of Podketeers. Yeah, that's right. We told that clap who's boss.
Yeah, he
sure
snapped
did.
it real good.
Right.
Oh, 6 seconds. 6 seconds.
Oh, damn it. And copyright strike. That was the shortest episode of Podketeers ever.
The
Wow.
end. Bye.
You know, whenever, I don't know if anybody has seen this happen. Larry, I don't know if you've run into this before with your videos on YouTube, but whenever you get any type of copyright strike, YouTube handles it in a couple different ways. They will either allow, like the copyright owner will either allow you to continue using that music in your video, but you cannot monetize it. Like any money you make will get sent to the person that owns the copyright. Whether that song is in there for 2 seconds, a minute, and your video is like an hour long, it doesn't matter. They get all revenue from that video if they claim it, right? So they allow you to do that, or they allow you to use the YouTube editor, which is kind of hot garbage, and they ask you to clip that piece out, and so now your video has this weird skip in it, and you know, it's up to you however you want to handle it. But if you take it out completely, you can monetize your video if you're eligible for that. So all I imagine is, because we keep using like songs to illustrate points and everything, like, look, I don't know what what came over me, but I know that when we were talking about calling all the monsters, like I kept hearing it in my head. And
that was cool.
I didn't like in the middle of the episode, we talk about it and we're talking and recording. And in my head, all I kept hearing was like, calling all the monsters.
That was in my head for like the rest of the episode. You guys kept talking, but that's all I heard. I'm just kidding.
And so while I was editing, I was like, I got to put this in there. I can't not put this in there because I had to hear it. So I pulled the song and I heard the whole thing just to get it out of my system. And then I realized that it wasn't out of my system. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to put a clip in it in case anybody's never heard it before. And then I realized, I think everybody's heard it. This was really just for me to be able to get this out of my system a little bit more.
It was just like, it was really sneaky though, too. I liked how it was just all of a sudden it just like, nice transition in, and all of a sudden I'm like,
hey, listen, it was part of a commentary. There was no copyright infringement intended. We were talking about a song, and it was part of commentary.
There you go. Hey, that's a good argument. You could file a claim with YouTube too about that. So there you go, sir. Actually, I think I just got a copyright claim from your cough, so we're in trouble.
Oh,
over
man.
here. I won't be posting anything. Sorry.
It's crazy, man, because there's tons of videos that we've posted, and on Instagram too. Like, I don't know what it was, but this last week we got an insane amount of copyright strikes for videos that have been on on Instagram for 2 years. Like, this has happened before, where somebody just kind of goes in and they start, deleting videos or whatever. But there was 6 videos this in the last week and a half that got a copyright strike, and they were taken down on Instagram. Dang. And literally like 2 years after we posted them. Like, a couple of them were like trailer videos, a couple of them were videos of shows or other posts. Like, we were reposting stuff that other people had posted.
Scary.
One of them was, do you guys remember the guy that lives near Andrew that was putting on those amazing light shows for like Halloween and Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 things I have to say about that. One of his videos was the one that got like the copyright strike, and it was because he was using like Nightmare Before Christmas, right? So
okay.
It's crazy that it sat there for 2 years and didn't, like, nothing happened, and then all of a sudden, boom, like, it gets taken down, right?
Mm-hmm.
That aside, dude, he stepped it up. I saw a video that he posted recently on YouTube.
This led to you.
He's got a drone show now.
What?
He's got a drone show.
There's
It
no
is
way.
insane.
I'm underachieving in life. That's all I heard.
Right? That is exactly how I felt. I can't put up a string of lights without causing some kind of problem.
Oh,
And
you don't
this
want to ask
dude
Rebecca how
has
bad I get.
Synced up. He's got synced up lights, music, drones flying around and dancing, and I don't know. All I know is that, like Larry said, I'm failing at life when it comes to this. Like, he's putting so many of us to shame. It's not even funny. I'm gonna have to find a video, one of the recent ones, and I'm gonna put it on Discord for everyone to watch there, because, man, it's impressive. Like, the lights already were impressive.
Props.
Right? But the fact that
Seriously.
now he's got drones?
Dude.
Disneyland Anaheim, okay? Disneyland proper can't do freaking
Can't do
drones.
They can't.
Mm-hmm.
Nuh-uh.
And
I'm not
this
gonna even
dude
give
up
him
in
the credit
Northern
of, like-
California.
Yeah. I'm not going to give them the credit of being like, oh, it's an aviation thing because, they can only fly so high. They could do fireworks, so they could do other things, right? So I'm
Exactly.
like, nope. It's definitely, this guy has stepped up the game, and he's like, and what?
Yeah.
Mic drop.
It's crazy.
I got to check that out. I got to look now.
It's
Those other
insane.
videos we had were awesome. Dang.
I mean, there's so much talent out there. I'm always
Yeah.
amazed. Like, that's one of the things, like, whenever I browse through, like, Reels or TikTok and stuff, like, I follow a lot of creators that, like, make tangible items with, like, 3D printers, where, of course, my wanting
passion.
need for a 3D printer and my quote-unquote passion for 3D printing is coming from. I want to give that a shot. Like, I think there's so many things that I feel that I tell myself, oh, if somebody only made something like this. And I don't even care if I mass produce it. I just want it because I want it to function for me. And if I could build something and 3D print it so that it functions for me, I would be happy with that. And if somebody is like, hey, sell me one or whatever, and it becomes a thing, then awesome. That's a cool thing to happen, right? But really,
Right.
there are a lot. Like, I'll tell you one of the things that I'm planning. Actually, I shouldn't do that because it's going to spoil some stuff that I want to
that-
be.
Ooh,
Yeah.
What a teaser.
Okay, so never mind.
That's a good
Can't
teaser.
tell you
Yeah,
about
you're
that
right.
right now. Can't tell you about that right now. But man, I want a 3D printer. In the meantime, I'm having to pay people with 3D printers, or barter stuff with people with 3D printers in order to get what I need or want. So, yeah. But yeah, there's so many talented people when it comes to doing these creative things. Like, there's a guy named Alex that I follow on TikTok who also does a lot of 3D printing, but he also works with projections a lot. And so in his room, he's created projections of Magic Kingdom, and he projects entire fireworks shows and puts on these like mini shows on TikTok that he's projecting in his room. But he 3D prints enough of certain items so that the projection mapping looks like it's a fully physical item, as if you were in the parks, just kind of tiny, right?
That's
and it
cool.
looks so amazing. Like, it's so cool. I don't know if he's got a YouTube channel, and I don't know if I can embed TikTok on Discord, but if I can, I'm also going to embed that because he does some amazing stuff. And then this week on Discord, FGP member Heather had posted that story, right, about the family in Aliso Viejo, the Stanley family, like making their own haunted mansion.
Yeah.
And it's so cool that there's so many people using practical effects, to
That's what I was gonna
create
say.
all of these interesting places for people to visit. Oh, and then did I tell you about the people, I want to say Chicago, I don't remember where they are, that emulated Max floating from Stranger Things as part of their Halloween yard
that's
setup?
I've seen that trend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
cool.
dope, dude.
Uh-huh. To be able to pull that off, gosh, that's creativity right there. Like, that should be celebrated. That's
You don't
awesome.
need that climb up a hill music. You just you could just do that and just put some creepy music behind that, and that's way above. Like, so sick.
That's true. It's true. I mean, for Stranger Things fans, like, you kind of need it, I think, to kind of...
It's running up a hill. Sorry, folks. Don't kill me already. I get it. I said climbing on purpose, okay?
We don't want to get that copyright strike.
Yeah. Boop, done.
There it is.
Yeah.
Less than 6 seconds.
There it is.
Less than 6. So, yeah, I mean, the creativity that's out there is just mind-blowing. And there's parts of me that wishes I had... I know I can make more time. I know that making time to do the things that you love is just within you, right?
Right.
So learning, I
right.
think, to balance out the time to do more of the things that, like, I wanna learn or I wanna try out and stuff like that, is something that I need to do more of, because when I get this 3D printer, I'm gonna need all sorts of time to play with that and experiment, right?
Right.
So I better start now.
Yeah, why not?
And when I
mean,
buy the
start
500
studying.
drones, when I buy the 500 drones and do the light show, and then
Where you
start
gonna
putting
store
that
that
thing
at?
together.
I mean, hey, there's something called scratchers. Just invest like a couple of
Oh.
dollars. Keep going. You
Every
never know.
week, right? We should start a
Yeah.
lotto pool. We should have a Discord channel lotto pool, and we all
my
pitch in
gosh.
$2.
Oh my
Oh, no. Now you're really getting innovative.
Suddenly,
No,
everyone's ears perked up.
what? Pool.
It's like, all right, everyone, Venmo the money to this account. Oh,
That would be
man.
a good story.
Right? It's like, how did you win all your money? Well, there was 10 of us on Discord who all pitched in $2 every week. And then a month
Start
later,
with-
we hit the jackpot.
Yep. There you go.
What do they say? Project out into the world what you want. So, a
Yeah.
month later,
Yes.
Put it in the
hit the
atmosphere.
jackpot.
Yeah. Put it
Make
out.
it
Well, what did you
happen.
do after? We started up
500.
Podketeers Studio. We bought 1,000 drones
500
and set up a
drones.
couple light
1,000.
shows.
1,000.
We bought about 10 3D printers and started a 3D printer farm. And then we started making Iron Man suits and selling them on Etsy.
What do we name them? If it's a farm, you got to name each printer, right?
Oh, we do. We'll name them
Start
after
with
Pixar
7.
characters.
Oh, there you go.
We'll name them after creative Pixar characters like Remy. We'll start with that one. Or Marvel
Putting
characters.
atmosphere.
It doesn't matter. We could name them like Remy, Shuri.
I'm just figuring them like at a farm, and we like put cow print on them and like sheep.
An actual
fur
farm.
outside. Yeah.
They'll be sitting on hay bales instead of like
as
tables.
they're printing. Yes. Just
I
to make
like
None
where
of
you're
our
going
prints are
with this.
straight. Our 3D printers are always wobbling. Why can't they say straight? These damn hay bales.
Oh man.
Oh, it's so funny. Ah, man. Hey, so I want to talk about Dreamlight Valley. I know you're not playing, Larry, but I want to talk about Dreamlight Valley because we finally got an update.
Yeah.
And I was talking to friends about this update because I was super excited that it was coming. They were promising a whole bunch of bug fixes and some new content. We were going to get Scar, a new quest and everything to add to the game. And by now I kind of finished the game, right? Like I've collected everything. At this point I'm just like a pumpkin farmer. Because I want to sell a whole bunch on a video, and that's what I've been aiming for. So once a day I farm some pumpkins, and life is good. But I was having a conversation with friends about the game, and I feel a little differently, just slightly, about it from when I first started playing. And to be clear, I'm playing on a Switch. So for anybody that wants to play like on Xbox or PlayStation, on Steam, if you want to get it on PC, those versions I've heard are a lot more stable than the one on the Switch is. The reason I'm kind of flipping a little bit is because when the game first came out, the rendering of all of the items, especially for me, when I first walk out of my house, I have, a couple hundred pumpkins. That's partially my fault, but also the game's fault because it should be able to render 200 pumpkins without a problem, along with everything else, right? So what I'm switching now is when people ask me, should I play the game, I ask them what system they're on. And if they're on a Switch, I always say, if you're a Disney fan, you're going to enjoy the game, but be prepared for the game to crash a lot.
A whole lot.
Yeah.
In the most rudest ways.
And what's sad is that the update that came through, I don't know if this is your experience, Mel, but it feels like it crashes more after the update.
Yeah, I'm going to say that I've gotten more crashes lately than I was before, because when you were talking about them the first time around, I'm like, in my head, I'm actually thinking, I didn't get too many crashes, maybe like a major lag or something, but this was like, I'm getting a system error with the exclamation mark telling me, hey, we're going to shut down because of this. So now I've gotten to the point where anything I achieve or any task or quest that I finish, I'm automatically saving on my own. Like, I'm not even waiting for the game to do this anymore because it's like, I don't know if you're going to crash soon or 2 minutes after or a minute after. I don't know. But it's interesting. Like, we got the update and it can't really perform how it's supposed to perform. Like, your pumpkins, if it allows us to have so many pumpkins, it should it should run as smooth as possible, but I don't know. Yeah. I wish I could have played on it on PC or something just to like not have to deal with all that. And because I'm blind and it's kind of hard to see details, like I was talking, pressing the Y button, that's pretty much it. I'm blind and I didn't see it. And I was like, oh, look, details, press. Oh, 80 hours later, I see this.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that it's funny. I want to continue talking about the error thing, but I do want to throw this out. And you actually gave me this idea because we were talking about this on Discord.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's a lot of people that have been playing along with us, and they've also been enjoying the game, and they've also been finding out these little things here and there. So it gave me an idea to do like a top 10 things I wish I knew, before
Oh,
playing
yeah.
Dreamlight Valley.
Yeah.
So for anyone that's playing, join us in the game channel over on Discord and list a tip that you wish you knew when you first started, and then we'll just compile maybe 10 of them, and then we'll make a video. Like for instance, like quick travel, right? The fast travel, hit Y if you're on a Switch. And this I might be geared towards Switch because I think the majority of us playing on our Discord are all on Switches. I could be wrong. If anybody's playing on any other platform, let us know. But for the Switch, I think that would be like a fun video to put together. So if you have any tips that you want to share, or if at any point you thought, I wish I knew this before, put it on Discord and we'll use it as part of the video. But yeah, the error thing, it looks like a lot of the errors were things that were happening on consoles, like the PS3 and the Xbox, maybe the PC version. There were some fixes for the Switch, but not anything that was super major. There was a funny, I forgot what it was, but there was like a funny image somebody had posted over on Twitter. I mean, I don't remember exactly what it said, but I'm going to paraphrase when I say that the Dreamlight Valley account had tweeted out something like, oh, we're so excited about the new things that are coming, and we can't wait to show you what's in store. And somebody responded with, is one of the cool things you have in store bug fixes for the Switch so it doesn't crash? Or like it was somewhere along those lines. I was like, oh, them's fighting words.
Thank you.
But
yeah, but thank you for saying that, sir.
as a Switch user, I have to say that it does get frustrating. So like I was saying earlier, the part of me that's flipped is if you're on a Switch, if you're like hardcore Disney fan, then yeah, I get it. I think it's fun. I don't think you absolutely need the $70 one. Like the $30 version is fine. Understand that what you're paying for when you step it up is additional items for your inventory, whether it's clothing or furniture, whatever for your house. It doesn't benefit the game anymore other than, you being able to use these additional items. The core game is the same, and the biggest change is that when the game finally releases in March, I believe, of next year, the game will be free. It will be a freemium game, so everything that you do will be some kind of paid update. And that was the other thing that they really, really pushed with the Scar update. I'm not sure what's going to happen with the Toy Story update that they're promising in the next few weeks, but they really made it a point to say that we got a free update as part of the early access. So it's not explicitly stated, but the way that they've been phrasing the free Scar update and the upcoming Toy Story one, it really sounds like every door that they unlock or any new biomes or whatever they end up doing are all going to be paid updates. So I mean, I don't know how it's going to work, obviously. I don't know if it's going to be like a per door fee or something, or if they're going to have like a season pass where, they plan on releasing 3 every quarter and you pay like $20 to access all 3 of them or something. I don't know. I know that that's what they do with games like Fortnite and, like
with the Battle
like
Pass,
Fall Guys with the Battle Pass and stuff like that. So if it's like that, then okay. I think like Fortnite's Battle Pass is like $12 a month, and if it was like something like that, it's not horrible, but that means that Dreamlight Valley would have to release a brand new door or brand new set of characters every month to make it worth it, right?
Right.
Otherwise, depending on what the release schedule is, maybe like a monthly or yearly pass or something would be better. I don't know. I guess we'll get more information next year, but it is going to be free. If you're waiting to play, just remember that it will be a freemium game eventually. All of the core game stuff, I'm sure, will remain free, up to a certain point, probably up to Scar. I don't know. I'm guessing at this point. But yeah, the crashing on the Switch is kind of getting unbearable. And sadly, the swap over to Scar seems to have made it a little bit worse. But the Halloween stuff, it's been challenging. I don't know how far you've gotten. I know they have the special event thing that's going on right now. To you collect the little pumpkins or whatever, and you redeem it for new stuff. I'm on the final set. I'm like the final 3 things to collect. I have to remove like 30 plus night thorns, mine minerals in Sunlit Plateau, and the night thorns have been a nightmare. I'm getting like 1 per day right now.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, it's been lagging for me.
Huh.
What's been your experience with the Halloween event so far?
Well, so far, so good. The only thing I'm getting stuck on, I think there's one, unless it's just a Dreamlight duty, there's one where I had to feed a critter, and I was feeding them, but I wasn't getting points for it. So I was like, skip. I'm not going to do this.
That's a known bug.
Yep. So that's annoying. I think so far, because I'm just barely starting, I kind of cheated. I used like my moon. I don't even remember what they're called. Moon points?
Moon pies.
Moon pie. Sure.
Those are a tasty treat.
You're right. I'm like, what are they called? No, so I ended up using that, and that kind of unlocked a lot of the other stuff. But I've only opened like 3 pages so far. So.
Oh, okay.
Not too bad. I have been, because Andrew has said this, where I think it was mushrooms that weren't like coming up for him or reappearing or respawning. So I've backed off on that. I'm like, okay, if they're there, they're there. Cool. I'm not going to touch anything. Like it's kind of like what you're telling me is like a warning. So I'm not going to touch stuff unless I have to. You guys kind of scared me a little bit. But other than that, I mean, not really. I haven't gotten into any trouble much besides my vegetables, which is a different thing.
Yeah, I mean, there are some quests that seem to have some issues, like the critter one. That's a known bug. Some people have run into that one. One that I ran into specifically with the little wolves in the Frozen Heights is that I don't know if it's 3 times that you feed them or 4 times that you feed them when they become like your companion, like they actually become part of your inventory. But I have video evidence, obviously, because I've been recording my play sessions that show that I fed them way more than that, and I'm not getting them in my inventory. Like they just, and it doesn't. That's the frustrating part, that there isn't like an indicator that shows you how many times you've done it. Like it just. It's supposed to rely on whatever the game mechanic, that it has or something like that. So yeah, overall, is the game fun? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like, the game is super fun. It's super relaxing at times. There have been times where I've literally just kind of sat there for 5-10 minutes watching the sky and the clouds like float by.
Yeah.
I posted this on my Instagram because it was like a Mickey head cloud that was like floating by. The constellations have to do with like the characters and stuff like that. So, it's kind of fun to just sit there and watch that stuff. There's a lot of detail that went into this game. I do have to commend Gameloft on it because the game itself is really gorgeous. They did a lot of great work with it. Aside from the super weird glitches where like some of my characters, if I'm like mining a rock or something, they'll go up to the rock supposedly to help mine an additional one, and then they'll get stuck in this pattern where it looks like they're like bumping up against the wall over and over and over and over. Those just look super hilarious. So with everything that I've said, I'm sure Larry's thinking to himself, man, I gotta jump on this. I gotta jump on the bug train.
For me, it's funny because this is completely sharing what it is. Being in the gamer chat of the Podketeers Discord is so interesting when you don't play the game. You got people talking about root beer. You got people talking about pumpkins. Yes. You got people talking, and they like come up as notifications. I still have them turned on my phone. So then I'm all there like, it's like a mystery in the middle of my day, being like, what in the? And then there's like, you got to hang out more. You got to hang out with this character overnight. I'm hanging out with Donald or whatever it was. I was hanging out with this person. It'll help you, and it's like. Honestly, it's really cool because I know the references to when there's characters involved, but I'm totally lost when there's these like pumpkin and farming, and then when you guys talk about watering and how it looks like things are not being watered, but they are watered, like, or they can't be watered. It's fun. Like, it's like living vicariously, and I could see why people watch other people play games. Like you've been posting, Heyzen, for your gameplay. Like you've been said you've been recording and posting them. I have watched the first video you posted, but then after that, I think I kind of fell off of it, but I could see why people do it. Like, I totally wanted to see where these things kind of tie together. So, yes, lagginess, maybe not yet, but when you mention it's free, and you did also mention something in the past, which maybe will come back, is you guys creating like a Dreamlight game session all with everybody.
Yeah.
Like a whole new session, right? Those things entice me because it's kind of like what you said, right? Just what you guys both said. What would I have done if I restarted the game and I knew this? Like these tips that you're giving out. Like, and for anybody listening, maybe this might be your first time or you might have been hesitant. It's worth just getting in the gamer chat and seeing these conversations come through because I'm pretty sure they're going to tie at some point if you play the game. So this is so interesting to me. It's almost like watching a story like unfold for each one of you guys. It really is interesting because the Disney ties there, I think. That's why.
And it's funny that you mentioned that because when we first started playing, I think one of the distinctions that we were able to make is that Andrew, Mel, and I all took different routes, right? They're very similar, obviously, because we have to complete the same tasks overall. Like, we all have the same quests, but there isn't a set way. There's recommended ways that they have so that, you know, certain things become available to you sooner than others. But, like, I've always thought to myself, what if I didn't open up Dazzle Beach first, right? I know that that's a thing, but what if I went straight to the Sunlit Plateau, and then from there I went straight to, you know, the Forgotten Woods? I'd have access to pumpkins super fast in the game, right? I wouldn't have had to open up all these other places and, like, dealt with okra and all that stuff.
There it is. That's the conversation.
You know, like, what would happen if I decided to level out 2 floors in the valley and do nothing but pumpkins? Like, can the game handle 3,000 pumpkins at once? I'm going to go with no. But
it's worth a shot.
What's the limit, right? Like, how many can we make before the game says, okay, I tap, stop already? You know, before I get a notification from Gameloft saying, stop messing with our servers, you need to stop this immediately.
How much watering is that going to take? Because I know I heard Andrew last time saying about, like, he has, like, to dedicate so much time to, like, or no, you said it too. You said you had to dedicate, like, so much time to watering. Like, how long would that take?
And then if you do this in the beginning, now that I'm thinking about it, your health would be nothing.
Oh,
like, you would have to run back and forth.
That. Oh, man. Yeah. And then you don't have access to the recipes.
No.
Because I don't know what you do, but one of the things that I do is I always try to create like 4 or 5 star meals, like the souffle or something like that. And then I have like 10 of them, you know, to eat because it takes you into yellow, like poofy cloud, right? So one tip that I can give you is if you do open up, let's say, Remy's Realm, you can go in there, make souffles or like some kind of 5-star meal for free without it taking away from your own inventory. But if you eat them in the realm, you'll get full yellow bar poofy cloud, and then you can leave the realm and go plant and everything. So it doesn't cost you anything, because when you go to Remy's realm and his kitchen, he's got access to pretty much everything that you need in order to make all the recipes. So if you know the recipes, you can make them. But you don't have access to certain things in the game, like the eggs, the milk, the cheese,
The
like
core
all of that
stuff.
stuff. Yeah, the core stuff isn't available until you unlock Remy's restaurant. So, oh man, that's gonna be fun. Oh man, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Like I'm frustrated and excited all at the same time for this venture.
See, there it is. I'm just saying.
Man.
So it's kind of like sitting on the sidelines. This is literally sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. So that's the thing.
insane.
Could I jump in and join now? I'm like, I kind of want to see where your guys' things go, and then when this goes full launch, not have any bugs, and maybe try to go in and be like, because at my first I was trying to be a villain. Remember, that was my whole thing. I was like, I want to try this villain thing, but now I'm thinking like maybe I could go in all like veteran status, like I've been trained through gamer chat.
Yeah.
I haven't played a game legitly for reals. I haven't not played like a game from start to end or from start to like having more than so many hours of play probably since I was in college, which folks is a far time removed. So I'm like, I don't know. This is the most interactive I've been a part of a group where they're talking about a game where it's here. You guys are talking about it and they're talking. You've heard Heyzen. I mentioned this last time. At my work, it's there. It helps me at my work. That's the game our teachers or lecturers are playing as like their group game for the year. So they talk about it there, like in our common area. So I'm like, this is like so cool because I might come in as a trained vet is what I'm trying to say. I'm waiting in the back, in the sidelines.
One of us. One of us.
The March date is ticking down.
One of us.
Spring break, spring break.
All right. Well, if you're playing Disney Dreamlight Valley on any other console aside from the Switch, we'd love to know if you've had any issues with it crashing. Is it worth it? Should I buy a PS5 instead of a 3D printer next? Is that what I should ask Santa for?
No.
Some people would say yes, but I really want that 3D printer, so
Yes,
the
you do.
piggy bank has to fill up for the 3D printer before I get the PS3, I think. But yeah, if you're playing on the Switch, tell us what the most frustrating part is for you, and maybe share a story of something that you had done in the game when it just unceremoniously crashed on you, and you were like a second away from throwing your Switch across the room. Because that's happened to me.
It probably could withstand it, right?
No, not at all, dude.
No?
The
These aren't
Switch
good
would
anymore?
not be able to withstand
Oh,
getting tossed
no.
across the room.
Nintendo used to be known for that, though. That
No,
sucks.
it
Oh,
is no.
bummer.
The Switch would shatter into tiny little glass pieces,
Dang.
and
okay.
your screen would just be demolished. The
Oh,
Joy-Cons
PS5 is looking
have
good to me now.
drift.
Just kidding.
Yeah, the Joy-Cons have this weird drift where if you press too long on it, it just always moves to that side. So no, it would not withstand getting chucked across the room. I think it would barely stand getting tossed 6 inches onto the couch.
Baby it like the phone, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your phone might be able to withstand more than that.
Oh, yeah. It's waterproof. But still, I baby it like it's, what is it? The chalice of youth or whatever. That's how I treat my phone sometimes.
All the time, man.
man.
Just like I always get made fun of because I always have a case on my phone. And especially at work, I have friends that never put a case on their phone. They're like, you understand that you have, Gorilla 6 glass and it's made of this and this. I'm like, dude, I've dropped my phone 2 inches and shattered my screen. Okay? There is no way I'm not going to put some kind of protection on the screen and carry that thing in a case. Like, why wouldn't you want to protect this
$1,500.
investment? Yeah. Like,
I don't
when
have
you're in that
$15
far,
to throw around, bud. That's
yeah. Yeah, that
Right?
$15 case versus $1,500 for a new phone. Yeah,
Exactly.
Exactly.
So get a case switch. Or switch for your case switch before you get it. Okay. Now
Yeah,
I'm on.
exactly. Exactly. All right, well, before we continue, I do want to remind you that this episode of Podketeers is brought to you by a fantastic group of people known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it is their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. If you want more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, head on over to podketeers.com/links and you will find a link to the FGP Squad page there, along with some other stuff. It's a brand new page that we have set up. We've posted it like on our Instagram and everything, so if you want quick links to some of the things that we talk about, that is going to be the best way for you to check that out. If you want to go directly to the FGP page, just podketeers.com/FGP for more info. There you'll find some of our top contributors, a link to our Patreon, and some info on the FGP Squad itself. Being a part of the FGP Squad family does get you some additional perks, like access to our happy hour calls, access to additional content on Patreon, access to giveaways, access to discount codes for new Podketeers gear, a special section of our Discord where we get a chance to chat with other members of the FGP Squad, and more. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. And to all of the members of the FGP Squad, we just want to send a huge thank you for your continued support. I know that Andrew normally does like a shout out, and I think I'm going to wait until next week for Andrew to do it. Like, I feel like he gets so excited about spinning the wheel and everything.
This gives him a week to think of things, too, about being super cool. He's got a week off to think about a new term. I mean, they are cool, and they are awesome.
He does a great job at it. So.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. He gets so excited whenever he does the wheel spin and everything. So we're going to leave that.
I'm even trying to emulate that noise and everything.
It's so good, man. All right. So I wanted to ask you, Larry, about your recent trip to the park because, one, I know we recently talked about MagicBands coming to Disneyland, and I've been on the fence about this, right? Like, my initial thing was, I don't need it. It doesn't really feel like it's going to benefit me in any way. But then there was a part of me that was like, well, maybe I should get one just at least to collect one and say I have one, because I have a lot of the Disney toys like that, right? So I thought maybe if I get like a mansion one or something, and I'm kind of eyeballing an Iron Man one. I might be eyeballing an Iron Man one. Okay. And it kind of helps. I'm just going to throw this out there. It kind of helps that if you're a D23 member, you get 20% off. So I might be getting an Iron Man one, but I'm not fully convinced. And I'm glad that you went to the park. Tell us about, getting the MagicBand, where you got it from, which one you got, and then the experience with using it.
Okay. So I'm glad you asked, because I definitely dedicated time to do this the way that it's been put out. So first off, MagicBand Plus was available to cast members and Magic Key holders as of October 19th, which is earlier than the release date to the guests at the park, to everyone, which is coming up when this episode will release by that point, October 26th. So on the 19th, you are able to go to Disneyland and Downtown Disney and Disney California Adventure at select locations to pick one up. So I got off of work that day, and I said, I'm going straight to the park to do this. And what do you think I ran into?
A line.
A very big line. Like, we're talking 45 minutes to an hour just to buy the band. And I knew, I was like, what? And then it was crazy because I went to myself. I thought, avoid the Downtown Disney one, which was the ESPN Zone, ex-ESPN Zone, what they use for photos now. That's where they were selling one there, a shop. The other shop was at the Starcade in Disneyland, and the one I went to was at the Avengers Expo store in DCA. That was the 45-minute hour wait, and it was a solid wait when I got there at, I believe that was 6:30 p.m. And Rebecca, my guiding light as always, and always my best tour guide, says, wait. She says, regardless of what is about to happen, like if you really wanted your heart set on a certain band, I had one in mind, which was the Disneyland one with the D on it. And it had underwards a quote that says, to all that come to this happy place, welcome. Well, it's a quote, basically. And that was all black band. And I wanted that one, but I thought, I was still on the fence like you were, like, I don't know what kind of investment, because I know they're like $50 to 30 something, right? So then I backed off, and we did other things at the park, and then we came back later towards the end of the night, which was about 10:30. Went to Disneyland instead, we were there at that point, and went to the Starcade store, and guess what the wait was? Nothing. Nobody was
Nice.
there.
Oh,
Zero.
wow.
Walked straight in. So that was the first kickoff there. Only kicker was that band did sell out. The Disneyland band did go first. Now, from what I was asking the cast members, I know when they were doing this first initial sale to the key holders and everyone, they were really trying to push the Magic Key band. So I think that one might get restocked, the Disneyland one. But they didn't want to tell me that because, they're like trying to push you to buy certain ones. I ended up buying just a standard because I liked the design. The blue Mickey one, the blue Mickey head.
Nice.
And it was at the price of $34.99, and with Magic Key they did give a discount on this version. So it was a little bit cheaper than $34.99. So that's the first step. Now, the next thing was I got it so late I didn't end up using it till the next time I visited the park was Friday of last week. So that would have been October 21st. So I synced it up to my watch, not too hard, just make sure that you kind of understand like the steps of NFC technology and Bluetooth with your phone. Make sure you go on the Disneyland app and follow the steps, set it up. Not too bad. Charge it up too. Make sure you charge it full.
Now, before you continue, I do have a question.
Go ahead. That's what I was going to say. Any questions?
Wait, do you tend to have like an Apple Watch or Samsung Watch or anything on at any point during the day?
Yep.
Okay. Sure. I wanted to ask how you handled that situation.
So the other one, I just wore it on the other wrist. That's all
so you
I
just
could
had
do.
two?
Yeah. It was like having one band here and one band here. That's what it was like having a watch and then like a bracelet basically on the other hand. So it felt like, but it doesn't have like a watch on it. It's just a head,
Yeah.
Well, it's a Magic Band.
Oh, Magic Band
yeah,
Plus.
that's what I had. Nice. Plus, exactly. So yeah, I did walk around with both. Now, if there's any more questions, I'll explain right here, right off the get-go, where I rate it. Here's the teaser. A 3 out of 5 immediately, and you're about to find out.
Okay.
So I get in the park, have it on. I'm excited because I used it to get inside the park without opening the Disneyland app. They scanned it, and the way that they do it at Disneyland, just a heads up, they use their mobile phones that they've been doing, when they get your ticket and they take pictures. People don't have them. Now they hit a button on that same mobile phone, and they just hold it up to the top reader of the phone because they're iPhones, and that's where the NFC reader is, and it taps onto the band. Bam. It's linked up to your ticket. Once it does that, you just go through. So that was cool. Real fast access, and it had a little vibration, light up, animation. Rebecca got the Haunted Mansion one, so just a heads up, Heyzen.
Yes.
She got that one, and it has a special
High five
light.
her for me, because that one's dope. Like that.
She loves the tight.
That's the one I might
want.
want.
Yeah, she got that one. She loves the Is This Room actually stretching, and I was like, is this the band you're actually buying? Not just kidding. Anyway. She got that one, and she did have to use the kid-size wrist version. So remember we had that conversation.
Yeah.
Like her wrists are very small, so she's like, oh my god, I'm having to use the kid cutout, which comes into play now because the first thing I did with the band just on me is I got on the Matterhorn that day because it reopened on October 15th. And side note, still as rocky as ever. Chiropractic needed, as always, but a classic.
Yeah.
With those rockiness, here's where it dropped the biggest rating for me. First ride of the day, I get on, I get off, and I run over, and I'm like, okay, cool. Live streaming, but I want to go check out Buzz Lightyear while I'm on my live stream. So I run over to Buzz Lightyear, and guess what? I realized I lost my band on the
No.
No.
Yeah. Popped off. It came off, and I had secured that little baby on there for sure. I had clicked it in the notch. So this is where immediately I was like, oh, this is not cool. Not cool at all. So I was so bummed because I didn't necessarily know at that point that I lost it there, but that was my best guess. I mean, we all know the Matterhorn's like, I mean,
Right.
it rocks you around, right? So I tell Rebecca, and thankfully, here's the great Disney magic part of the story. She walks over there for me and asks the cast member, and they were like, yeah, we actually found a Magic Band that's been lost. And she's like, yeah, it's blue and it has the Mickey head. It's the standard one. They're like, yeah, we got it. So they had the band. Thankfully, someone turned it in because I was afraid, like, not only like if you lose this band, like think about all the technology you've talked about, Heyzen, which you could have on the band. That's a scary thought, right? So this is where immediately I started freaking out because we had that conversation about so much stuff that it's going to be added right now, but they still have my pass right now, and that freaked me out because I was like, I got to take it off. I got to take it off my app because I'm scared like someone could use it to go to a different park, I guess. I don't know, right? So anyway, I got it back, and though when I got it back, it had a scratch. So in that short time, it fell off and got a scratch really easily. This is what dropped my rating from like already like the convenience level of a 5, which was I was touting to you about, to that 2.5 level. Now flash forward to the end of the night, would bring it back into a 3. I used it on Rise of the Resistance as a lightning lane to get on, just to test it out for the podcast and and for my YouTube live stream. But anyway, I tested it out, and then when I never opened the app, and I had Rebecca buy the lightning lane through her phone because I wanted to test out, like, what if I don't open it? What if I just leave my phone? Like, will it update to know? Guess what? It worked. I scanned, boom, right in, and I didn't even have to open up my app, which is really convenient. So boom, thumped up, and then I watched Phantasmic with it, and yeah, the lighting effect, it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a sucker for lights, and it matches a lot of what the show, and it has like just, you know, I can't really show any animations. You just see like the outside of the band lights up right here to show you guys. I'm showing them, but just imagine all the LEDs having different light effects that match, and then there's like haptic vibrations to certain parts. For example, I don't know how they did it, but they timed up the cannon fire from the pirates ship to vibrate the same time your watch. Your band is on. So I was like, whoa, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah, to time that is insane. So I don't know how they're doing that and that pulling that off. But I must admit, Rebecca did a test too with her band, and she stayed further back like than I was. She was sitting over by Rancho del Zuco, the restaurant, to see how far it would read. And she said it was about 60 to 70% where she could get Phantasmic's lighting effects on her band from that distance, which is really far, right? But just to see what would happen, how close you had to be. And then after that, it did do more effects for the fireworks show if I was standing by Phantasmic. I don't know. I can't say what it does on Main Street or near the castle area, but it did go with that show too. It had some lighting effects and vibrations. So that's why I got it back into a 3. So that's where I'm at.
Nice. When you were talking about dropping it, the first thing I thought of is how many of these are going to drop while you're on Indy.
Right?
Because that's one of the most rockiest attractions. And I'm thinking, when you said you dropped it, my heart dropped because it's scary. So, dang, I'm just glad you got it back. That's
luckily,
crazy.
Right? Imagine if you made an investment for like the Coco one, which I believe is $55 to get. Yeah, really pretty. I'm not gonna lie, it's so sweet, and the designs on it are really nice. Mm-hmm. But man, you make that investment and then poop. I mean, I'm not a kid, right? But I was distracted, obviously, doing what I was doing.
Right.
So kids are going to be the same way. Even adults, us looking at our phones. Imagine going so far like I did. This is a perfect example, I felt like, and thinking, oh, God, I've lost it. And then everyone's like saying, oh, just do the lost and found. I'm like, that's not fast enough for me.
No.
In that scenario, you don't feel like it is. You're like, oh, God, now I have to take off the band off my watch. I just made this investment. I have to take off the app. I have to Disney app, remove my ticket because I'm too afraid of it getting like in the wrong person's hands. That is a bummer. Like, you might need a better clasp or like really secure or check it. I ended up checking frequently after that, obviously, because I freaked myself out, right? But if you're enjoying your day as you would, like you said, I'm going to look at my watch wrist more than I am the other wrist, Heyzen, like you just bring up. So you might just slip. This is definitely something that it popped off for sure. So,
oh, man. All right, look, as soon as you told me it popped off, like my anxiety level shot, like
right,
like it broke the ceiling on my anxiety level. I was like, dude, like you said, somebody could have taken it. They could have bought like hamburgers and merchandise.
I don't know, that castle on Main Street.
Yeah, you know, like your credit card and everything is hooked up to it. So
well, not yet. That's not done
Oh.
yet here at Disneyland, so you're good. But that's the
Oh,
future,
okay.
is what you're saying. So right now it's just photo pass, your ticket, and if you're doing lightning lane things, it'll sync up. But still in the future, I know that's their plan. That's what
Yeah.
they're thinking.
Okay, so two things. One, if I had a 3D printer, I could make like a cotter pin or something that would
Yes!
fit on the MagicBand to hold it in place,
Full
right?
tie, here we go.
Because that was the full thing. Like I just thought to
Yeah,
myself, it
literally
had a better
full
clasp
circle.
because it's like a little peg or something, right?
Oh,
That
yeah.
just pops into the hole.
It's just
right?
two little rivets that you see right there.
Yeah,
that
see,
pop into
that's
two of these holes.
why would they
Yeah.
do that? Like, why would they
I
not
don't
think of
know.
that in the design process? Unless, look, I hate to say this, but unless they're banking on people losing them and buying another one. That is
That's why I say I
absolutely
can't
worst
give-
case
right.
scenario. I don't want
Yeah,
to
you're
accuse the
not
company
wrong.
of them. I don't want to accuse the company of thinking that way, but like, why
Right.
would you design it so poorly? In my head, like the first thing I started thinking was, okay, well, we got to design some kind of like cotter pin to like hold it in place together, some kind of like elastic thing that you can slip, kind of like an addition, like how the watches have the additional band that it slides into as additional
Yeah.
protection,
Right, seen
or
those.
maybe how like Apple watches have like different bands you can like clip
Yeah,
into.
that's what I thought. You were talking
Maybe
about
that.
the older one. We had this conversation where you could pop out the middle part, and I kind of wish that was still an option. We talked
Yeah.
about older Magic Bands before, because like on this one, it's not, and that would make me feel better. Like with Apple watches or Samsung watches too, I believe you could just switch it up, like get a different band. And
The way that
maybe-
the way that I see, like, you're holding it, and it looks flimsy compared to the first generation that came out in Walt Disney World. That one, I mean, that one was, you could go on anything. I never had a problem with it, but yeah, it looks flimsy.
This isn't the most expensive version, so maybe the more expensive ones I can't speak on. Like Rebecca did have a more. It's not the most expensive, obviously the Haunted Mansion one, but it is. It feels the same when I grab it, and she told me the same thing. Like it's so weird when she put it on the first time and she took off to the child size. She said, "Wow, this middle part of the band that has the technology in it really sticks out to like right here, so it sits on your wrist weird, so which could cause to popping off if you didn't have it secure." And lo and behold, who's the guy that pops it off? And I was like, I'm putting it on tight.
I'm
Figures
kind of
it'd be me.
nervous now because my kids are asking for one. Like the kids
Yeah,
want
I
one,
think-
and if
Yeah.
it sits weird on the wrist, on smaller wrists, I feel like I don't know. Like it's kind of both spectrums, right? Like on smaller wrists, it might be too large and cause an issue
Right.
with clasping, and then like on my wrist, if I get one, like I have something called fat wristitis, where even my
Hope
regular
wrist.
watch, even my regular watch, tends to cause some issues at times. So,
Same.
man, I'm nervous about this now.
That's my disclaimer, but
Oh.
seriously, I'm not talking against the convenience of getting in the park and also the convenience of buying, doing Genie Plus and Lightning Lane. I told you I didn't even, like, your friend or family, whoever's linked to your ticket, could set up your plans, and you guys could just, like, instead of being like, hold on one sec,
Yeah, that's a plus.
swiping through all the tickets, it's just like, boom, you just walk through, and that's really easy and so quick. I'm not gonna lie to you, the speed of that was like insane. Like I could see Disney being like, yeah, this is just a way faster way of getting people in and being beneficial to that. Like this is a Magic Band Plus line. I could see them doing that with this for sure, because you invest to buy it, right? Not necessarily to get in the gate, but like something where you're like going to a ride or something like that. Like this one will be the one that get in through there. So
Is there wiggle room between the Magic Band piece itself and the, I guess you would say the piece that would pop in?
So it doesn't pop in, but there is like a little bit of like gap, I guess. Is that what you mean right here in that part? Or is it the...
I'm trying
This
to think, because, like, is there a way to put, like, maybe a little bit of glue or something to kind of, like, make it sturdy?
sturdy?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I know you're not supposed to be doing that, but I'm just, like, trying to figure out what would be
I think what Heyzen's saying, the clasp idea, might get someone. I mean, after time, some people were telling me when it initially happened, and some people were watching me on my live stream were saying like, I bet you it gets more. The watch gets, or excuse me, the Magic Band Plus gets more used to being on your wrist. Like it's gonna adapt to being that way and not so spongy like that.
Yeah.
Like it'll just get bent the right way, right?
Right.
But how long till that? Because my first time using it, you just made the investment. Like that's the part where it's like, why is it so elasticy? Maybe I want more leathery, I guess. And some people are like, you got to cut it. You should really cut it, the wrist. But I have the whole huge Hulk wrist like you, Heyzen. So
I wouldn't be cutting that. That's nuts. You just paid for that.
It's a tough balance. That's my only thing. So I'll just tell everyone that's where I'm at. I'm not trashing it. That's literally exactly what happened, and it's on video. If you want to see any part of it, it's literally on video. Just go back to my Goofy Guys Adventures channel. You'll see that day the happening of the good and the bad.
Man. So before we continue, you did mention it. Give the full info on how people can follow you on YouTube and the live streams and everything that you do. Give your social so that people can also follow you on those things that you post.
Yeah, for sure, guys. I mean, something a while back I started. I know some of you hardcore FGP fans know that I had a YouTube channel when I first got on here. I still had it. It's Goofy Guys Adventures on YouTube. So if you look up Goofy Guys Adventures, you'd find me there. Lately, I've been live streaming a lot from the park. And it's been going really well because I think I'll be to share behind the veil. I think Disney invested in a lot more AT&T 5G out there. So it's handling better, and I feel better about not it breaking up and stuff. So if you want to see just random live stream from me throughout the week, I'm usually there on Saturdays and sometimes Wednesdays and Thursdays. I think that's the days I've been trying to go. Friday was kind of an anomaly. It was kind of a random day for me to go, but I was happy to go because, I got to hook my friends up, which we might mention a little later. To be there to get something for them. But you can follow me at Goofy Guys Adventures on YouTube, and I post on there on the community page when we'll be going live, and also I'll be posting on my stories. So, and I link it to Podketeer Larry a bit too. So don't worry if you don't follow me there yet. Just go check it out, and then if you like it, happy to have you there. If not, no worries. It's just there for like Disney content, really.
Well, we'll make sure to post the links up as well because I'm sure that there's plenty of people that want to see the live streams. I enjoy the live streams from the park as well. So I know that there's plenty of people that, would just want to hang out and just follow you on your adventures. So, yeah, we'll post all of that information as well. So, yeah, man, this experience with the MagicBand has me a little nervous now because the Iron Man one is one of the more expensive ones, I believe. It's not one of the $35 ones. And the kids also want one. And I am nervous that, the kids don't pay as much attention until they need to. Yeah, I don't know, man. It seems like a lot to risk it popping off that easily. I feel like if I do get one, I am going to have to take at least like a piece of Velcro that I can like weave through and then like secure it like further up or something. Like those little Velcro straps you use for cables, like cable management on computers.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, or a zip tie or something. I don't know, something. At least until I get home and like clip off the zip tie or something. It's too much to risk it like popping off.
It was scary. I mean, I'm not kidding. If you watch it, if you watch that part of the video, you could hear me like genuinely get scared of feeling like, oh my God, freaking out. And I think I literally called Rebecca, thanks Mom, during it, for saving me. She saved my butt, like seriously, like usual. She went over there, and I'm thanks to the cast member. We did give them thanks on the app too, so heads up, you could do that complimentary feature.
Nice.
We definitely put that on there. We awesome. Submitted one after that for them giving it back to us because they could have put in lost and found, and that's the right way to do it, honestly, if they're gonna do it. But they were nice enough to be like, wow, you might, they didn't say this for quote, but I was like, Rebecca's like, you might have been the first one that lost their magic band. Let's just, let's just be real, right? But I was like, yeah, the Matterhorn is a good test though. And I didn't even think about it at the time. It was a great test for that band because it's like indie where you get a little, but people love it. People love it. So.
Yeah, and that's the scary part, right? That it's not, like, because it's near field communication, like, you have to be within a certain distance for it to pick up. And so, one, that's why it was so amazing to me that you were telling me that they got it to sync with Phantasmic, because they've tried stuff like this before with the ears, and they tried it with the wands and the paintbrushes and stuff during the 60th anniversary, and they couldn't get it right. But now technology has advanced, and now it seems like they were able to get it, you know, right with the magic bands, and that's cool. But, like, how, like, in my head, I'm thinking, like, what if they had some kind of machine that detected it or something? Like, is there another piece of technology in there that they could have used that maybe it went into, like, beacon mode or something like that? Because I think that would be a fantastic thing to add, right? So Disney, I know you listen. Here's a feature you need to add to magic bands, okay? If you somehow lose it, like, how great would it be if in the app you could say, like, my magic band is lost, and you hit a button and it converts over to beacon mode somehow, and it starts putting out a pulse or something saying, like, I'm lost, I'm lost, I'm lost, and, like, cast members have, you know, some kind of device that flashes when somebody's watch goes into beacon, or magic band plus goes into beacon mode or something, right? You know what I mean? Like, that would be like such a great feature.
That's cool.
The peace of mind that I think people would have, like, I'm sure that if that was available, you could have gone into your app, gone into lost mode, and then you wouldn't have had that panic mode, right?
Yeah.
You know, so
that would have been sweet.
I think that's a really great technology advancement that they could add in a future version of the Magic Band, just for peace of mind, especially, like, for kids. Imagine how useful it would be, you know, for kids, if you had, like, losing a child in a park is one of the scariest things. And if you could use a magic band to somehow locate them, those are the things that go through my head when it comes to how these things could be useful. Because I'll be honest, the whole, like, scanning it to get in for Lightning Lane and all that stuff, it's on my phone, okay? Like, I get it. Like, it's faster to just swipe your wrist and you don't have to open the app and all that stuff. But the convenience factor for me, especially now as a parent, like, thinking about those scenarios where something like that could have happened, this becomes a much better way of, you know, location, which some would argue is good and bad, right? I think there's good and bad that can happen from that, because when people think about how Disney can track you in the park, people think it's, like, super scary. People just don't realize that Disney's already doing that. You know, they do it with your app on your phone. They do it with other devices that you have. Disney and so the Magic Band is not any different, right? That's how, when you're at Disney World, you can get off of an attraction and they know your name, or when a princess or a character comes to you, they know exactly how to address you, because this technology is already there. It's existed for years. It's just, you know, we're just in a different place as a society where people use this technology for malicious intent. But the idea of being able to use it, like, again, if your child got lost or something, and again, turn on beacon mode or something like that to find them, like, that, I'm calling it beacon mode. Like, I'm trademarking that, because if they use that name, like,
I know
that is it, right? They're gonna need to cut me a check at that point. Like, I think that's where really this thing could shine, you know, because again, like, the fact that you need another device for, like, wearing two devices on each wrist, like, just feels clunky to me. You know, the fact that, like, I think there was a video that someone sent us from the FGP Squad where somebody's actually using an Apple Watch to scan themselves in. There isn't, like, an Apple Watch app or something now, or there is a way to do it or something. Like, I don't know how legit it was. I haven't looked into it. It looked legit. I can't vouch for the validity of it, obviously. But like how hard would it be to just create a phone app or like a like a watch app for the, if it doesn't exist, right? Or for the Samsung Watch or something. Like, you're already wearing it. Like, the technology is there. You know, NFC is there. It's a secure transaction when it goes to link to your phone and the app. It's not like it doesn't know, right? So, I don't know. I get it. They want to sell an additional piece of merchandise, and making them collectible and putting different designs on them is a really great way for them to make money. I get that. But the ability to have it on existing hardware, I think, is also something they need to think about. Because here's the thing about Disney fans. If you make the technology available, they will use it. And if they have the technology available, let's say for an Apple Watch or for Samsung Watch, you know, or Google Watch, whatever the case is, guess what?
Right.
The majority of them are also going to buy MagicBands. Why? Because they're a collectible item. And most of the people that visit the parks are going to buy them anyway. Whether or not they use them, they're going to buy them, especially if it's their favorite character, if it's, you know, an attraction that they love, an anniversary thing, or, you know, the special edition ones that they release. They're going to buy them anyway. It's the same thing with the parks. They keep raising the prices, and guess what? People are going to keep going. You know, that's why Disney keeps doing this stuff. But they should make the technology available. It's only fair. Right? Because a lot of us, and I put myself in that category. I'm not saying this because I'm trying to like not buy one of these things. I'm honestly really considering buying one. You know, but I am concerned that, you know, my fat wristitis is going to cause me to lose it the first day that I use it. Right? Okay, my Hulk wrist, sure. My Hulk wrist. But I mean, it is a concern, right? And it's a lot of money to accidentally drop. And I think you got really lucky that it was in a place that you could see it. But like, what if you're on Space Mountain and it pops off on Space Mountain?
Oh,
like,
gosh,
when the hell are you going to find it then?
Indy.
You
what
know,
Melissa
or
said
Indy,
on
exactly.
Indy, that's a scary one, yeah, for sure.
So I think the design itself, I think, leaves something to be desired. I think they can work a little bit on the design, obviously, to make it a little bit more secure. I think having an app that you can download to an existing piece of hardware, like a watch, I think would be fantastic. Because, again, the people that are going to buy these things are going to buy them. And the people that, you know, weren't necessarily convinced to get it are probably not going to get it anyway. You know, that's... So why not make something or a convenience available for everyone? It's all about equity, isn't it? Fifth key,
circle.
right?
Yeah, right. The key. Nice.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. Remember, if you want to watch live streams from the park, make sure that you follow Larry, Goofy Guys Adventures, over on YouTube. And a lot of the streams you've been doing are on Instagram, though, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, like I post it. You could click the link from there and watch on YouTube.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So, yeah, we'll make sure that we post that over on Discord. We'll put a link in the Podketeers links page as well. That way you can follow Larry's adventures whenever he's in the park, and hopefully he doesn't lose his MagicBand again. We'll make sure to get that 3D printer and create that cotter pin, dude.
Oh, my God.
See, this is another point in the 3D printer.
The episode's full circling, literally,
right?
cotter pin.
We got to create this thing. That's...
putting a pin in it. Can you imagine the designs?
Literally put a pin in it.
Literally.
That is going to wrap it up. A couple last things that I want to mention. Next week is the 1-year anniversary of Quizneyland. Andrew is planning something special. We're all going to be, you know, part of this special episode. I'm super excited because I love what he's been doing with Quizneyland. So expect that next week. Teamboat Willie is raising money to help support the fight against women's cancers. We're going to be participating in Walk for Hope, or are participating in Walk for Hope, and we are going to be auctioning a few things off over on Instagram. That information is going to be coming soon, so make sure that you're following us on Instagram for that info. We'll end up posting it on Discord and everything. We'll give some previews of the items that we're going to be posting and help us raise as much money. If you can become a participant and help us raise the money, that would be amazing. If you are unable to participate or if you're unable to donate, the best thing you can do is help us share the link with people that can give a donation. You know, we've said before that no donation is too small. If you can give $1, great. Imagine if 1,000 people gave $1. That's $1,000 that's going to go towards curing cancer. You know, if you can give more, obviously that's fantastic. But challenge yourself to give at least $1 or get somebody else to give $1 and then ask them to ask somebody to give $1. And let's start the dollar chain. Back on the dollar chain gang.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
love
a
that
song.
idea.
That's a horrible song. So if
Hey,
you
no
have any
copyright.
questions, right? So if you have any questions, make sure to reach out. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. The link to our Walk for Hope page is available at podketeers.com/links. Our Instagram account does have that link available as well. But we're excited. We're trying to raise $1,000, and it's coming up really, really soon. We're only a couple weeks away for Walk for Hope to happen. We're going to still be able to continue fundraising for about a week or two after the event as well. But in the past, when we've been able to walk in person, we've been able to create like poster boards with people's names that we're walking in honor or in memory of. And I'm trying to figure out a really good way of doing that again virtually, maybe creating like an Instagram story that we update. But in the past, what we've done is anybody that's donated at least $1, if they are donating that dollar in memory or in honor of somebody that's battling cancer, we will put their name on there if they're willing to share it, obviously. And it'll just be on display there until we're done with what we're doing. So that might be coming soon. More info on that will be available via Instagram and on Discord, so keep an eye out for that, along with the items that we'll be auctioning off. And that's it. Anything else that either one of you wants to mention before we wrap up for today?
We are good.
Perfect.
All right, so that's going to wrap it up. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Bye.
Let's go, Teambo Willie. Boop, boop, donate. Oh, copyright. Back at it.
Part of the Podketeers Network.